got like 3 different videos to make.
Just one.
So,
a strike in the rail industry.
I'm going to start off with this one.
Talking about for months at this point.
I have so much paperwork.
Had been ongoing for a period, and now once again, the needs of the economy will.
Let me get myself fixed up here first. Again, I've just gotten out of the shower, and this is a little bit too much, but you take about that much video. Is that enough? Yeah, that's it's a little too much, but I'm not going to rub it back inside the thing. Once you take Vaseline out of your Vaseline, you don't rub it back around the edges, because that's redepositing bacteria back into your Vaseline. So you just wipe it on your hand. So that was a little too much for my face. And on your ears. And your ears. Okay. And so you do your face. Do your eyebrows. Your eye. Women and men, we get little fine rips, tears, and cracks around our eyes, on our nose, and our face. This is not a beauty treatment. This is just a reality. Our skin, as we get older, it rips, it tears, because we rub our eyes, we scratch our face, and we do it on our hands. And Vaseline petroleum jelly, it is a healing ointment. Our skin, our lips, from the weather, it gets chapped, it gets dry, and then it rips, it tears. Fine micro chaps, tears. And that is why we use it on our face, right? When you're going to go outside, go into the elements, the sun, the wind, right? Your goddamn skin is going to chap, it's going to get dry, and it's going to what? Tear. It's going to chip. Lips are going to get chapped. And I've got one for the foot. I'm going to put it on later. All right. Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of shit that I recorded before this. This is 12 minutes into the recording. Y'all ain't going to see the first 12 minutes of this recording. Snap, snap, snap. Cut. Whole bunch of stuff y'all don't get to see that don't make it to the video. So, hello, everyone. Okay, so y'all might get to see some of it. I don't know. All right, so what happened is a few weeks ago, yes, the hair is looking kind of rough because I'm freshly out of the shower. And it's okay. A few weeks ago, we're sporting a little naughty nappy bun today. Okay. So a few weeks ago, I recorded about 4 or 5 recordings to make some future videos. And now I'm making the future videos. One thing is, like I said, I have a lot of paperwork that I have to get to, but I want to go ahead and show the videos because, and make these videos from the video. So I'm going to make a few videos from the videos that I recorded. Is this clean enough? Yeah, I think it's clean enough. All right. And is it going to be clear enough is the thing. All right. So this first one is a follow-up to a video that I did regarding Michael Jackson and Ye.
Threatening a strike in the rail industry. And look, this is a story that obviously we've been talking about for months at this point. The negotiations had been ongoing for a period, and now once again...
All right, this is the end of a video on TYT.
Ahead of those who actually make the economy what it is.
All right, ignore that. This is
We're gonna see. Hopefully, there will be those who will stand up against him, speak out for the actual workers.
not gonna happen.
I don't want to get too mad about
this. Is the damage report,
woman, but she's suing Velveeta.
All right, it's coming right after this, so let me get it set up.
Required more steps.
Just ignore this part. I'm just gonna get it set up. I did a video about Michael Jackson. You know, people had something to say about me. Going off when all I was saying was just that Michael Jackson didn't have to do what he did to his skin because he wanted to be this white man. And that he didn't have vitiligo to the degree that he had to make himself a white man. He just wanted to be a white man, and that the black race had to accept that it was okay. Because when he was changing himself into a white man, we, the black race, was still being murdered by the police. So Rodney King, in 1991, literally was murdered in the street. Murdered in the street in 1991. I think it was March. And Michael Jackson's song came out. It didn't matter if you were black or white. And in like November or December of 1991. And so we basically had to accept it. Is all I was saying. And he wanted to be a white man. He didn't have that skin disease to the degree where he had to change himself to an entire white man. But the pressures were on him. And we still supported Michael, and we still love Michael, and we still love him to this day. It's the pressure. It is the pressure. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't. And that's the same thing that they're doing to Ye right now. They literally hired somebody to steal his company. They or the Jewish people went behind his back. They went behind Ye's back and convinced Ye's attorney to change the paperwork so that they could steal his company. And that's what I was trying to tell you. And this is what I was trying to make the comparison. That is why Hitler murdered them. Because he and Stalin found out that they were trying to go and infiltrate the German government and change it from the type of government that they had, which was a communist government, and they wanted to make it a capitalist government. And he marked them all. And I mean, there's other things too, but basically that's what they were trying to do. He didn't want that type of government. And he marked them before they could figure out what he was up to. One of their own Jewish kind told on them. And that's why he marked all of them before they could change their appearance and blend in. And so don't think that I'm being anti-Semitic or that I'm a Holocaust denier. I'm not. And they came to America and they did it here. And now they're trying to stop reparations and money for the people. And there is more than enough taxes. If you think about it, why do they take our taxes and pay for wars in Israel and Pakistan and Afghanistan? All of that money, and on the dome, all of that money that they're spending, Iraq, Iran, everywhere they're spending a war, civil wars in this country. But every time we talk about reparations for black people that they've never paid us for, and for money for the people to give a check to Americans that qualify, they say that they don't have enough money. Well, why do you have enough of our tax money to pay for all of these wars? But you can't pay us to keep us out of poverty. More information is on my channel.
Of pressure to break the back of those.
Okay, so that's just one of the videos that I made and recorded. Car, and he would walk amongst the people. You wouldn't know that it was him. You would think it was somebody dressed up as Michael Jackson, but it would literally be Michael Jackson just walking downtown amongst the people, and you would think it was somebody dressed up like this guy, and nobody knew it was the real Michael Jackson. And his voice is so deep, you wouldn't think it was him, but it was really Michael Jackson. So everybody was thinking and listening, thinking that it would listening for that high-pitched voice, that pretend voice. And you didn't know that you were talking to the real Michael Jackson. And because he was using his real voice, and he is a real fool because he's a jokester in real life. So they were showing this, him walking downtown with the security guard, but the security guard was just dressed in his regular clothes. And I'm like, oh shit, he's downtown just walking amongst the people. They showed it in like one of his documentaries. So anyway, that's why I was typing to somebody and I was telling her this. But the younger generation, they haven't seen it. They haven't seen the documentary, so they don't know what I'm talking about. But it was funny as hell, y'all. I guess they're not showing it anymore, and I guess you can't Google it and see it. But it was funny as hell. Like I was trying to tell her, this is Michael Jackson, and this is just him playing around.
Those who have been
so like he's a whole fool. He's a whole jokester. For real. Like y'all have no idea. And like the celebrities that used to say Michael would, call him and play jokes on him. Even Prince, all of them. Like if you watch the old shows, they would say, "Oh, Michael called me playing a joke at my hotel." But I said that all to say that eventually the government went after Michael Jackson because these two little white kids, one was an older boy, one was a younger boy, accused him of the sexual molestation. And no, he didn't do it. And they were going after him having money, and these were just certain Jewish people. It was not the entire Jewish community, but certain Jewish people hire an higher epilage rich Jewish people who did not want him to make that much money and had to knock him down because they had to be the richest in the music industry. This is just the music industry that I'm talking about. They did not want Michael Jackson to be the richest over them. You see, he could be the most popular, but he could not monetarily be the richest. He could not own and be the richest. And what a lot of people don't realize is when Michael Jackson bought the Beatles catalog, and because Michael Jackson owned his own catalog, that made him the richest in the music industry. He owned all of the masters for his and the Beatles and the I think it was the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, and his own masters. He owned all of it. He owned all the rights to it, and it was somebody else's. And by him purchasing and owning all of it, that made him the richest to pass down to his children. And this is what they're doing to Ye. I called him Ye in this thing. I mispronounced it. Ye owned all of his with who is it? With Adidas. He owned in that $2 billion deal. He owned the rights to in that Balenciaga. He owned the rights to his. So what they did was the Jewish people that he listed on that list in video number 70 that I made, I recorded the same way I recorded this. Because you're not going to say I'm saying nothing. I went in 2 of my videos and I recorded Ye. So this is Ye saying it. And I recorded him just like I recorded this man. His name is Gus, whatever it is. I think Gus Jackson or whoever it is. Recorded him, Ye, and he's saying it out of his own mouth that these are the Jewish people at these particular companies who stole from me. Ye is not saying every Jewish person in America and every Jewish person in the world, when I wake up, I'm going to go DEFCON 3. He was only talking about those Jewish people, and he was saying it in jest. He was not saying I am literally going to go DEFCON 3. And then he apologized for it. So all of this, he's anti-Semitic. He wants to do this. No, all of that, it was unnecessary. But anyway, I'm not going to keep belaboring it and arguing the point. Because if they hadn't have stolen his stuff, he wouldn't have said anything, and they would still be working together. And they would not have cared. Those same people that were on the list, highlighted in red, at all of those companies, including YouTube and Google, they would still be working with Ye right today. And they wouldn't have gave a damn about what he said about George Floyd, black people, or any other race. They wouldn't have cared what he said about slavery being a choice, which again is taken out of context because he did not mean the people who came over here on the boat. He's not talking about that. He's talking about slavery of the mind is a choice. They would not have cared about what he said about any of those other, whether they're derogatory statements or whether they're just rude statements. They were working with him when he said all of those other statements, and they did not care because they were making money. They didn't say cancel them out. They didn't say put them on an island. They didn't care about Black Lives Matters, White Lives Matters. They didn't care. They were making money with Ye. They were making money when he was Kanye West. They didn't care. None of the people, Jewish people, that he held up on that phone, Bryan Tyler Cohen, CNN, nobody made a video about Ye being anti-Semitic, being against Black Lives Matters, being against LGBTQ. Nobody made a video about Kanye West when he was Kanye West. Nobody made a video, MSNBC, Ari Melber, nobody. TYT, nobody made a video about Kanye West other than Roland Martin. Roland Martin has consistently said, I am done with Kanye West when he was Kanye West. Roland Martin has consistently said, I am done with Ye when he changed his name to Ye. He is the only one who said, I have not going to have anything to do with him because of what he has been saying. And I never really paid attention to him anyway, because I don't listen to rap. And I'm only talking about him now because he is basically saying what I have been saying about the rich Jewish people and what they have been doing with the government. The only difference is he's saying about just those people on the red on his phone. And I am saying that it is comparable to what the rich Jewish people are doing with our government. He's saying it about people on the phone. I'm saying it about the rich people who control all the business industries and the lobbyists that they have with our government. So these are my people. He's talking about his people. They're doing the same thing to him that the rich people are doing to all of us. We're talking about 2 separate group of people, but they're doing it to him with his business contract, and they're doing it to us through the government. And what is the common denominator? Hitler. Hitler did to those people, right? And that's how they got here. He's just using Hitler because Hitler is a thorn in the eye. If you say the word Hitler, it's a thorn in the eye to the Jewish people. As a whole, Hitler is a thorn in the eye. But he's wrong to use Hitler as a thorn in the eye, because that gives them a platform to say, go after him, get him. And that's what I'm saying. You can't, it's wrong to say I like Nazis because I can use it as a thorn in the eye. I like Nazis. I like Hitler. I can use it as a thorn in the eye. But they did to Michael Jackson the same thing. See, the Jewish people in the music industry, they tried to tear Michael Jackson apart. But again, we supported Michael Jackson, because the Jewish people in the music industry, they want to tear Michael apart. And we weren't supportive back then. We, as a black race, we weren't going to let them try to tear Michael Jackson and put him in prison. Of course, we want to support him. So the Nation of Islam stood and protected Michael Jackson, because back then, racism back then was nothing like it is right now. We're more vocal about it now. Back then, we weren't vocal about it at all. Not back when they went after Michael in 1991. We weren't doing that. We weren't still marching in the streets like we were in the 60s and the 70s. So it's not that Michael wanted to make himself a white man because he didn't want to be black, but they had it so you were scared to have a child that had dark skin like mine. You were scared to leave a black child in this world because you knew your child could be snatched and murdered, and there was nothing you could do about it. There was nothing you could do. There was nobody you could go to. Who could you turn to? You couldn't take up a gun. Look at that man not fucking around anymore. He walked down the street with guns in his hand, and they just gave him 7 years in prison. Talking about he pointed a gun at somebody. They just gave him 7 years in prison. Oh, he pointed a gun at somebody. White men go around pointing guns at the police, at us all the time. All the time. In 2022. But you got a constitutional right to bear arms, right? But what did he do? He got a whole bunch of other black people together, and they assembled with their guns. But they went right after the leader. And what is the message? The message is, if you get a whole bunch of black people together and tell them you got the right to bear arms, we're going to go after the leader and say, now, if you black niggas want to do 7 years in prison, go ahead, be the leader. And we're going to put your black ass in prison too. It don't matter if he pointed the gun at somebody or not. Go ahead, step up, be the leader. You're going to do 7 years in prison too. That's the message. So this is what Michael Jackson said. It don't matter if you black or white. It does matter if you black or white. The same year that they killed Rodney King in the street and beat him and killed him, they didn't kill him, they beat him in the street. He actually died in the swimming pool on drugs. They gave him a whole bunch of money and he overdosed on drugs. Head was. That's how big they beat his head. 4 times the size that his head should have been. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. That's how big and swollen his head. His head was this swollen around Rodney King. Knots just sitting out everywhere on his head. Gruesome. So at the end of the year, Michael Jackson said, it don't matter if you black or white. Oh, fuck if it didn't matter. See, this is why I'm saying that you little young kids, you little Generation Z, all of this shit is hidden from y'all. Y'all didn't live every day in fear, not realizing somebody could snatch you the fuck up. Somebody could snatch y'all up. Y'all don't understand about the gangs of being snatched up. And so what happened is, this is where Joe Biden comes in. I got a video for him. This is where Judge Joe Brown comes in. I got a video I'm doing about that. Black people and the black, and I love my black men. I love my black men. They may have locked us down, but white judges, white senators, white people, they started getting snatched and shot the fuck up. Jewish people, they started getting fucked up. But and Asians, they started getting fucked up. Raped, stabbed, beat, shot. Couldn't get all you motherfuckers. But since you was putting us in prison for life anyway, since y'all was killing us and throwing away the fucking key anyway, motherfuckers start coming up missing. Now that's what y'all want to go back to. So what happened is, a man came along and he called us all kind of monkeys and niggers. And they created a crime bill. Him, an old funky ass hoe ass bitch, they came along. And one became the president and one became the vice president. Part 2. Y'all have a nice day.